Hello everybody, how you guys doing today? Welcome to lesson 11.4, whereby we talk about variable nested loops. Okay, we already know what a variable is. We can assign some number to a variable, and we know a for loop. We know that each time the for loop runs, the counter increases by 1. So the first time around, the for loop will be 0, depending on where we start. It will be 0 and so on until the end of the range. So in this chapter, in this video, I should say, we're going to try out the example in the book and then explain it using variables and for loops, actually and nested loops, to make it much easier for you guys to understand. Also, note that what I'm doing, it's on page 102 of your book. Okay, so if you understand it, that's great. If you don't, if you understand the book 102 and 103, that's great. If you don't understand it, then I think you should really pay attention to this video. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to ask the user for stars. Okay, I'll create a variable called stars, and it's gonna be an integer, so I'll say int raw input, and then I'll say how many stars do you want? And then I will just create my for loop. I'll say for I in stars, actually for I in range, and I'll start from 0, comma stars. And you guys know the stars will be replaced by whatever value the user enters. And then I'll do a colon, and then I'll just print star, comma, right? So it's just going to loop around. The first is, so if the user enters 10, we know the 10 stars are going to be printed. The first time around, I will be 0, and then it will print 1 star. The second time around, I will be 2, it will print another star until it reaches 10. Let's run it and see. Make it big for everybody to see. I said 10. And it did print, indeed, it did print 10 stars. I'm not going to count, but I know it printed 10. Why do I know that? Because I started counting from 0. Okay, so what if we want to ask the user, say we want him to, we want 10 stars per line. Okay, we want to ask the user, say, how many lines do you want? Okay, how many lines do you want? And whatever the lines that the user wants, so let's say if the user says they want 2 lines, we want to print 10 stars on 2 different lines. Right now we're only printing on 1 line, but what if the user wants 2 lines, or even the user wants 3 lines? Well, we're going to create another for loop, okay, the bigger for loop, and then we'll put the stars inside. So I will indent this guy, and then I'll come over here, and then I'll ask the user for how many lines first, equals int raw input, and now say how many lines do you want? Okay, and then I'll come over here, I'll say for k in range, and then I'll 0, comma lines. Okay, and I'll do this. I already indented it, so I'm not gonna indent it again. I already indented it. And then over here I'll say print, and I'm done. So what is the magic that is going to happen? So let's say if the user enters that they want 10 lines, or they want 2 lines. Okay, so the first time around, k is going to be for the first time around, k will be 1. Okay, actually k will be 0 because 0 is the beginning of the range. So the first time around, the k will be 0. Okay, so when k is 0, that's 1 line, right? When k is 0, that is 1 line. And then you come over here, stars is 10. I will make sure that I'll print 10 before I come back to this loop. Okay, so because this loop, I'm saying I want 2 lines, so this is the first loop. I come over here, my value is 1, or my value is 0, because the beginning, my value is 0. I come over here, my value is 0. And then I come over here, my value is 10, right? I'm going to loop 10 times before I come back over here. So here, I'll print 10 stars, and then I'll come over here, and then I'll do 1 print, and then I'll fall back over here again. So let's run it and see. So how many lines do you want? I want 2 lines. And then how many stars do you want on each line? I want 10 stars. See that? So the first line, it printed 10 stars. The second line also printed 10 stars. So let me show you. What was the magic? What happened? Okay. So the inner loop, okay, if I say the inner loop is the one with the stars. It is the one that runs 10 times. Okay? The reason why it runs 10 times, because I started counting from 0. If I had started counting from 1, I would have to do stars plus 1, because we know the last number does not get printed. I hope I'm making myself clear. Okay, so the first time around, the outer loop runs for 2 times, because that is we said we want it to the lines to be only 2, and then the inner loop we said we want the stars to be 10. Okay, you can go around and keep looping. Actually, yeah, the book also tried to do something about block. You know, the book also asks the user, say, how many blocks do you want? I think it's the same concept. So if we want a block, we probably want to put another loop inside here. We want to put another loop before where the stars get printed for the blocks. Okay, so basically that is it. That is actually it. You know, that is it for the variables and the loops. So what you have to know from this video is that inside your for loops, or inside your nested for loops, you can have variable in, and you can use the variable multiple times. I hope I made myself clear. It would be great if you guys read from page 102 and 103 and just try out the example, okay? And also try creating your own nested variable loops. And I'm sure you guys might have some problems with it. If you do, don't forget to send me an email, because I'm always excited to help you guys out. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.